Well, an anti-hate group is calling on Ottawa to review the application criteria for Covid-19 relief funds to make sure money doesn't wind up in the hands of white supremacists. For more on this, let's bring in CP24's Reshmi Nair. Reshmi.
Nick, so the Trudeau government's been pressured by journalists for months to explain which employers could apply for the wage subsidy, right? So it's not CERB, it's the wage subsidy that was part of the Covid-19 relief funds. So the government responded by putting a searchable database on the Canada Revenue Agency's website. I just typed in a couple of groups that are associated with self-proclaimed white supremacists, and they show up in these searches. So they have, based on this search database, received these Covid-19 relief funds. So we have Fareed Khan, who is the founder of Canadians United Against Hate, joining me now to talk about this. I mean, your group is among many groups across the country calling on the Trudeau government to investigate exactly who they gave these public funds to. What's your message to the government, Fareed?
Well, I think that, first of all, the government needs to not only review the criteria as to which organizations get these funds, but there needs to be stipulations put into the criteria that no group that advocates hate, bigotry, or white supremacy should be eligible for these funds. There should be no taxpayer dollars going to any group that's trying to, target minority communities who are already feeling challenged during this pandemic.
And do you have faith that the government will be able to recover any of these public funds?
Well, from what I've seen in the media reports regarding what Canada Revenue Agency has said, is that they do have the capacity to get the money back. So I am hoping and assuming that the mechanism is there where any funds that were paid out to such groups can be clawed back in some fashion.
You've said that the federal government speaks about fighting hate, but what you've gotten is political platitudes and broken promises. Can you expand on that?
Well, yes. If you think back to January 2017, when the 6 men were murdered in a Quebec City mosque by a white supremacist, we had the government come out and stand with the Muslim community and stand with Canadians and talk about how they were going to try and help the community and fight hate and bigotry. And we got very little other than, political statements and, public relations. We had the government in the throne speech in September talk about fighting hate again. And now here we are at the end of the year, and we've seen nothing coming of that commitment in the throne speech. So I'm sorry, but the government really needs to, stop with the political statements and PR and actually start doing something beyond making these statements, which are, just showboating.
Yeah, and it is journalists who have found the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy being handed out to groups that are associated with self-proclaimed white supremacists and now anti-hate groups calling on the government. This would have been known to the government months ago. What's your message to Canadians now, then? Should they be getting involved and joining your call?
I think they should. We've had a demonstration across the country since the spring of Canadians coming out in the tens of thousands to call on the government to fight hate and to raise awareness in society about the perniciousness of hate across all segments of society. The government needs to listen to what Canadians are saying, and Canadians need to put pressure on the government, on their MPs, on the Prime Minister, write emails, make phone calls, basically get the government to take action as opposed to just, making PR statements.
All right, Fareed, we appreciate your insights today. Thank you for your time.